Hey guys, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. I have a message for you guys. So I spent a couple of days with God, you know what I mean? And, God really flooded me with messages. And I want to say this because you're going to see other videos after this. But a lot of the messages that I'm recording and a lot of the messages that I'm posting, it doesn't only resonate with you guys, but it's also going to resonate with me as well. So because we are all in this together, okay? So one of the messages that God gave me for all of us, and I always confirm my messages, and I always encourage you guys to also test the spirit and to pray about it as well to get your confirmation. But one of the messages God was telling me is they feel defeated. Okay. They feel defeated. Now I'm going to read you a quick scripture and I'm going to tell you what God means by they feel defeated. Okay. So if you guys remember in Daniel 3, okay, the king has some specific image that he wanted all his servants to worship, right? And there was some sort of gold he wanted them to worship. There was 3 of God's servants that chose not to worship this, and the king said, if you don't obey me and you don't worship what I'm telling you guys to worship, I'm going to throw you guys into the flames, into the fire, okay? Some type of furnace. He turned the furnace up 7 times hotter than it usually is in order to burn these individuals up, okay? What ended up actually happening is once he put 3 of God's servants into the surface, he said, okay, well, let's see if your God can get you out of this since you don't want to worship my God or you don't want to worship my image, etc. Right? So when he put the 3 servants in the furnace, he ended up seeing 4 people. They were actually tied up. When he put them in the furnace, he saw 4 people walking around. Okay, I'm going to read you the scripture. Okay. This is Daniel 3, number 23. And these 3 men, firm tied, fell into the blazing furnace. Then the king leaped his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, weren't these 3 men that we tied up and threw in the fire? They replied, certainly, your majesty. He said, look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, abound and unharmed. And the 4th looks like the Son of God. Okay, let me tell you something. The reason why God wanted me to give you guys this scripture is because he said they feel defeated, which means everything that people have tried to do to you, everything that your enemies have tried to do to you, nothing has worked. Just like he threw 3 of God's servants into the fire and they were unharmed, nothing happened to them. There ended up being 4 people walking in there instead of 3. He knew right away that these individuals were. Remember when they put Daniel in the lion's den? And they locked the den with the rock. Do you get what I'm saying? They put a rock there, right? And they were expecting Daniel to get killed by the lions. That is like almost a near-death experience. Like I said before, how many of you guys have been through so much near-death experience? How many of you guys, almost got into accidents or got into accidents, or you may have ended up in the hospital. You get what I'm saying? May have accidentally been shot. Whatever your situation is, the warfare may have been strong and may have almost caused you to do certain things. And every time you went through this stuff, you came out what? Unharmed. Every time you went to a warfare, you came out what? Unharmed, untouched, unharmed. Do you get what I'm saying? So what God is trying to say is your enemies feel defeated because they have tried everything and nothing has worked. I have another message for you guys. The other message I'm going to put out later on today, but definitely it's relating to being restricted. Your enemies feeling restricted. There's a restriction, okay? The rituals are not working anymore. Okay, none of the spell work is working anymore, and they feel defeated because they know deep down that you are definitely a child of God's. Because if you are not a child of God, whatever they've tried to do to you, it would have already hit you. Do you get what I'm saying? Whatever they try to do to you, it would have already hit you, but nothing is hitting you. So just like the king was amazed because he saw that God's servants were not touched. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not to say that your enemies are amazed. Remember when I told you guys last week where I said they are confused? It's more like they're confused, but now they feel defeated because they know they have done the worst of the worst to you. They have done the worst of the worst rituals to you that may have worked on other people, that may have worked on you in the past, but the worst of the worst that they were hoping for has not happened to you. Do you get what I'm saying? He put those 3 servants into the furnace to kill them, to burn them up, right? They were not touched and they were not harmed. That's the worst of the worst. He turned it up 7 times hotter than it was supposed to be, right? Your enemies turned up the warfare 7 times hotter, or turned up the warfare as much as possible because they had a different purpose for you. They had a different plan for you. And guess what? It did not work. And they were confused and they feel defeated because they did the highest of the highest ritual. They went to the highest of the highest witch doctor. That witch doctor, whoever they went to, realized, hey, I've heard hurt many other people. I've killed many other people. But for some reason, I can't kill these individuals. For some reason, it's not working on these individuals. They feel defeated. They feel defeated. They have tried the highest and the best, and nothing has worked. You know why? Because God is with you. You are a child of God, okay? You are a child of God, and this is proven to them you are a child of God. So they feel defeated. They feel extremely defeated. This message is not just for myself, but for many of you guys. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.